You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waves. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waves.
Welcome to the 56th edition of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. It's the 5th episode of Season 6. We are the show that compares and contrasts Fallout experiences through a lively roundtable discussion by playing through the same quests with characters who have been randomly assigned drastically different attributes. Welcome, everyone! Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Andrew, joined tonight by our good friends, Sarah and Ray. Hi, guys. What's going on?
Hey.
Andrew.
Welcome back, Ray. Had to skip
Thanks.
out last week. Yeah, you were going to try to be on the show, but then you had a certain exciting little story.
Yeah, little detour.
What happened?
So I was staying at a friend's condo, and he has a couple of parking spots, and so I parked in the parking spot I typically do because I stay here for every Dragon Con. And somebody reported my car as being inappropriately parked, and so the condo had my car towed. So I came wandering back from Dragon Con at about 9:45, hustling as fast as I could to get upstairs and get connected so I could jump on the show. All my stuff was in the back of my car, so I went to the car and it was gone. So I spent several hours tracking it down, getting a ride over to get it, and bringing it home. So, but that was really the only wrinkle, and everything was fine after that. So, but unfortunately, I did have to miss the show.
So what was the situation with this condo again? This is someplace that you stay normally?
Yeah. A friend of mine has a condo in Midtown Atlanta, and it's a great place. It's 3 rapid transit stops from the Dragon Con, and so
Nice.
it makes it for a nice, easy, convenient place to stay. So
Yeah, perfect. I had thought of something. Do you know the origin of the name Dragon Con? I was thinking that's kind of a funny name. You have any idea why dragons?
well, I'm pretty sure it started out as a Dungeons and Dragons convention.
Ah.
Makes sense. So is there a large gaming aspect to the festival? Or not festival, the convention?
Yeah, it's it used to have a floor of the Hilton Hotel, and so now that wasn't big enough. So they moved over to an even bigger facility and have a whole floor in that building.
Now, what sort of Fallout presence did you see at this thing, Ray?
Well, so I was hopeful because the very first thing as I was walking in to get started, I ran into Hancock and the Lone Wanderer. And so I had all my my junk hanging from me, so I had to throw it all on the floor and get some quick pictures. But little did I know that was the last I was going to see of anybody in the con that wasn't in my ballroom. So,
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah.
Stay in your room, Ray.
yep.
Now, your good buddy Lee, our good buddy, friend of the show, Lee, also a native of Georgia, or no, actually native of Massachusetts or something, but now currently lives in Georgia. He also goes to Dragon Con. You guys met up again. Was this the second time you've actually ran into Lee there, right?
Oh yeah. He came hunting me down. I had given him my schedule where I was going to be, and so he came into the ballroom that I was setting up, and we got to say hi.
He's there generally for, I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce it correctly, Anaxar? You know what I'm saying?
Axanar.
Axanar. There you go.
Yeah.
It's as far as I can tell, a fan film in the Star Trek world, correct?
Correct.
And it seems to be. I think Lee has mentioned it's like one of the largest fan-funded films in creation or something. I don't know, but he's working with those folks, so that's pretty cool. They have representation there. Lee posted some pictures of just, I don't know, there's like 50 people in vault suits walking around and stuff.
Yeah, so one of the things that they do there is they have group photo time. And so for each of the different genres, they have a photo time. And so he was wearing his Fallout shirt and carrying his laser pistol. And so he was in the group photo. And so when you're in that, you get everybody that is in costume for that particular genre goes and gets their picture taken.
Well, that's really fun. I saw his laser pistol in the picture. It looked pretty sweet. Do you know anything about that? Did he?
I'm pretty sure he picked it up last year at Dragon Con.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
from a guy that makes replica weapons.
Nice. That's really fun. He mentioned, gosh, I thought it was Preston. Maybe it was. There was a Preston there, right? I saw a picture of Preston, I think, right? Didn't he say that he was sending out quests or something?
Yeah, I didn't see that part, but I did see all of his pictures of there was like 3 or 4 Prestons there.
I think he said
That is awesome.
handing out little scrolls or something with objectives and quests to send people on, I think.
Saying like, a settlement needs your help in the East Ballroom.
Exactly. In Hall H. Well, wait, no, it's Comic-Con. I don't know. Whatever the equivalent for Dragon Con is. Probably Ray's Ballroom. Go to Ray's. Rescue Ray.
Right?
Somebody needed to.
Somebody kidnapped Ray from his settlement. Go to Ray's Ballroom. Bring him back. Oh, perfect. Anything crazy happen? Were there any like big fires or riots or anything?
No, it's all pretty calm. Actually, this year they started earlier than normal, and so it actually kind of spread the crowd out a little bit. It was nice. But the ballroom that I was in is primarily podcasting track and science track and skeptic track, and so I had a couple of very interesting science panels in my room. One of them, they passed out to the audience these 2 little sheets of paper, one green, one red, and on one sheet it said fart, and on the other one it says doesn't fart. And so the name of the panel was Does It Fart? And so they would talk about insects and black holes and all these different things, and the audience had to vote whether or not it was a fart or not. So that got quite interesting. And then another one was a Jeopardy game, and the questions were all things that could kill you.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that one was interesting too.
And what did you say the other? You said podcasting, science, and what else?
Skeptics.
What is that? What does that mean?
They're just there to debunk anything and everything.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun. What did they debunk?
What did they? I don't remember exactly what tracks they had in mind, but it was.
Man.
Of course, you love debunking.
So tell me why the alien landing wasn't real. I want to see that shit.
Heck no.
Tell me why Neil Armstrong wasn't on the moon. I believe he was, but debunk that. I want to see your argument.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, like, people coming in and saying the pyramids weren't built by aliens, Let people believe what they want.
But the pyramids were built by aliens, right?
Exactly. It's like the pyramids are like some source of energy. You guys didn't know that?
The Illuminati built the pyramids, I think.
You're right.
But it's definitely a good time, and worth all the hours that I put into it. So
Very cool, Ray. It sounds like it was a lot of fun.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Glad you had a good time.
Yeah. And next time, take a picture with Lee. Very upset.
Well, when I saw Lee, I had no idea that was going to be the last time that I saw Lee all weekend. Because the year before, he had an Axonar fan table just right outside the ballrooms that I worked.
Oh, nice.
And so I would see him, all day long. But this time, that was it. And so, yeah, didn't get a picture.
Oh,
You had
well.
one job, Ray. One job.
No, actually, I had like 5 or 6 jobs.
You were at all sorts.
Yeah.
So, Ray, did you happen to listen to the show last week?
I didn't.
Uh-oh.
Okay, one of the big topics. Okay, this was the worst episode for you to miss because we spent most of the episode talking about food.
Oh, shoot.
Ray, you're our local representative of foodie on the show, and so I just had to ask. From you grew up in California, and you also have
Yes.
been in Georgia a long time. What are the weird regional dishes? We were talking mostly about sandwiches, I think. But we're just talking about the weird regional foods that we have in our area. Was there anything in California that you specifically remember that you can't get anywhere else in the country?
Probably the biggest thing is tri-tip sandwiches.
Yes.
Explain
Do
that.
they not have tri-tip?
No. They grind it up for ground beef here.
That is a travesty.
It is.
Explain what that is to me, please.
So the tri-tip is a piece of beef that sits on the back of the sirloin, and it's just a weird triangular shaped piece, and it has a big fat cap on it, and so it's very convenient. They'll cut the sirloin down and make different sirloin roast, sirloin steaks, all that kind of stuff. But then they take this this hunk of meat. And because it's long and fibrous, they throw it in the grinder and make ground beef out of it. But in California, you cook that in indirect heat, on a grill, with the fat cap on the top, so that all that juiciness soaks into the meat while it's cooking, and it's absolute heaven. You slice it across the grain,
Mm-hmm.
and it's. In California, it's probably one of the most. You don't do brisket, you do tri-tip.
And how is the sandwich? How is the sandwich presented? What does this look like?
It's on a hard bread roll, so it's like a firm textured roll because it's
Yeah.
so juicy.
Mm-hmm.
You got you said it was sliced against the grain. So it's
Well,
not
across the grain, so that it's
across the grain.
nice
it's
and
not-
tender.
It's not, like pulled beef or whatever, not shredded.
No.
No.
It's a lot like brisket in Texas.
Steak sandwich, any toppings or anything go on it?
A lot of people just eat it bread and meat.
Yep.
That's what I do. But
Little
some people,
barbecue sauce.
yeah, barbecue sauce, or some people put like a little bit of mustard.
In California, what does barbecue sauce mean?
Molasses and tomato.
Yeah.
What?
Sweet red.
Yeah, it's a sweet red sauce.
Are there different kinds of barbecue sauce?
Oh yeah.
God. Are you serious?
I don't know.
Weren't you just in D.C.?
So from where I live, just outside of Atlanta.
Wait, I think you just made Leon die. I think Leon just had a heart attack.
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
if I drive for 4 hours, I can cross 4 different barbecue zones.
What?
So in Georgia, it's going to be tomato without the molasses. And in the high country of South Carolina, it's going to be a mustard sauce. In the lowlands of South Carolina, it's going to be mustard and vinegar. And in the lowlands of North Carolina, it's going to be just vinegar.
What?
That's my favorite. If you ever go to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, all they do is they take a simple. It's not white vinegar. It has to be apple cider or something, right? Right? It can't just be.
Yeah, it's a cider vinegar.
They take cider vinegar and it's just like pepper flakes, and they just soak pepper flakes in the cider vinegar, and that's all it is, and it's so good. That's my favorite barbecue sauce. Is that Eastern North Carolina. Love that stuff.
Well, and also in Lexington, North Carolina, they make coleslaw instead of the mayonnaise dressing. It's a vinegar dressing, and it's called Lexington slaw, and it's my absolute favorite kind of coleslaw.
I just like a big scoop of slaw right on top of my barbecue sandwich and just eat it all together.
But
Listen to her. She couldn't hack it out here.
I don't do mayonnaise. I don't speak for all Californians. I just mean for me. I don't do mayonnaise.
It wasn't mayonnaise. It was a vinegar coleslaw.
I only know coleslaw with mayonnaise in it. I've never had coleslaw with anything else.
Well, if you get it in Kentucky, it's not mayonnaise. It's basically vanilla ice cream based.
Well, then I'm on board.
Have you ever had that? Like super duper uber sweet? Oh,
No.
They melted vanilla ice cream and cabbage together.
No.
So
Yeah.
is all this food talk why we only have one person in the YouTube chat tonight?
Yeah. Sarah's on. And our barbecue sauce would not be deconstructed. It's just probably purchased from a store.
Wait, Sarah's from Kentucky. She's probably got barbecue opinions.
Yeah.
But- and
Let's
if you
talk
go to-
about Mexican food, because that's what Californians can talk about.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You import that. That's not even your own food.
I know,
About.
but we have
So
the best Mexican
does
food here.
What Mexican food does California do better than other Mexican foods around the country?
Oh dear.
Everything.
Oh, Andrew. Listen. I have been to Texas, okay? I've had Mexican food in Texas. It is not Mexican food. Thank you very much. It is just not. So, like,
It was.
I don't even know how to explain it, but
Tex is their thing over there.
that is not, yeah. We have, like, authentic Mexican food here, and it is bomb. It is
You
amazing.
know what? I think you have authentic Mexican food in Mexico, probably. And
Oh, I'm sure there's authentic. Well, duh.
California people are all just think you're all authentic.
We all do. I don't know. I feel bad. California. What do we have on our side, Ray?
Probably put freaking artichokes on it.
Oh, artichokes. Yes, we do have artichokes here, and lots of oranges.
You probably have something like something gross like fish tacos, and you put like,
Oh, tacos are so good.
and then you put something stupid like avocados and artichokes on it, right?
No, but fish tacos with just a little bit of lemon and some avocado,
Shredded cabbage.
a little bit of shredded cabbage. That's my jam.
Then you get the corn and you slather it in mayonnaise and then dribble chili powder.
Yes,
That's
that is also a thing here, but I don't eat that either.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not a food expert. I just eat whatever people put in front of me. Ray's the man to talk to about that kind of stuff.
Big bowl of mayonnaise for you, Sarah.
Gross.
Welcome back to the show, Ray.
Thanks.
We missed you.
Glad to get your food opinion on a couple of things, because seriously, last episode was like 80%. But now that the show's been 20 minutes of food talk already, but
Yeah, we haven't talked about chili even yet.
yeah,
That's
it's chili. It's hilarious. Ray, you a chili guy? Real quick. Gotta get the chili opinion.
Yeah, not too much.
No.
No, not too much on chili.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Foodies don't dig chili.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of chili, in the back of my fridge, I've got some chili and an annoying little kid. Tonight on the Fallout feed, we're going to go rescue Billy. We'll also play superhero as the Silver Shroud. We'll go waste a ton of municipal funds and take way too long to do a digging project under Boston with no nose at the Big Dig. And we'll also get our asses whooped across from the Fallon department store at a little place called the Milton Parking Garage. So that's what we're going to get into this evening on the Fallout Roundtable. I will go ahead and admit I failed Kid in the Fridge. Anybody pass it?
How do you fail it?
Yeah. Did you sell him?
You don't do
sold
anything.
Oh, you just left him?
No, he's with me.
He's just with you.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't take
Okay.
him anywhere. I didn't take.
He's your little pseudo follower.
And eventually they were just like, "You failed," and I was like, "But I haven't done anything yet."
If
like-
you have him long enough, they fail you.
I think if you leave the proximity of the area, if you bolt and don't engage with Bullet or the family, I think there's something. I don't know exactly what I did, but yeah, they failed me. I wonder if I can. I haven't taken it back to the house though. Maybe I should take him back to his parents and see. But then I'd lose my my alert system. That's why I like having Billy around. He shouts, "Oh no, don't hurt me!" when like
Oh no.
sneaking up behind you. And a lot of times something like I wouldn't hear sneaking up behind me, like a ghoul that comes quick at you. So that's why I like to have Billy around. It's not, I do like having the company, but really it's he's a good little alert system. I like having him around. So Kid in the Fridge, how do we start out, Ray?
It's
Well.
a kid in a fridge.
It's it's hard to avoid that one, but yeah, you're walking along the road from the South Boston Check Center towards Quincy, and you hear, "Hey, I hear you out there." And so you go walking up to the fridge, and your dialogue options are basically, why are you in there, and why should I trust you to let you out? So finally, so you have to shoot the door open, and little Billy comes crawling out, and he's a little whiny. So he complains about being in there for so long and how bright it is outside, and he complains about how he misses his mom and dad, even though he's had 210 years to get over it.
Yeah, geez, over Bill.
And so then you take him to his folks' house. So you do have to be careful, because if you take too southerly of a route, well, I guess actually that would be too northerly of a route, you can miss Bullet. And so I had to go looking for him, because Billy needs to be sold.
Oh my god.
So
Of course, he sold him.
sold him to Bullet, and so as soon as he complains about that, and
What, he complains about being sold?
yeah,
The gall.
such a whiner. But he kind of runs off a little bit when you start shooting Bullet, and you kill Bullet, and so you got your caps for selling him to Bullet.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
You get some minor loot. Bullet's not really loaded down with anything great, but the additional bonuses is that when you get him back to his parents' house, you don't have to fight Bullet and his friends. So it's it's much more expedient just to sell him to Bullet and then kill Bullet, and then you don't have to worry about it, Bullet's friends. Now, I'm not sure exactly what happened. It could be that the game is catching up to me. But when I got Billy back to his parents' house, his parents were hostile
Uh-oh.
and started shooting at me.
It's sell their child, Ray.
How did they know?
The mother
So,
knows.
so, of course, Billy goes and runs and hides. And so I just took off and left the area and then waited a minute and went back. And by that time they had reset and everything was hunky dory.
Oh,
so
nice.
I got my caps from the dad for returning Billy to him.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's a base of probably around 200, 300. I forget what it was, something around there.
Yeah.
That's
That's my formula for Kid in the Fridge.
And what is the other way? Sarah, how did you play it? Did you play it a different direction? I'm assuming poor child.
So I did not sell Billy. I do have to say that I went onto the wiki and it told me that Billy was over by Neponset. How do you say that word? Neponset Park?
I have no idea. Massachusetts is its own fucking country.
Neponset. Is that how they would say it in Massachusetts?
I have no idea. There's Nahant, but I was saying it like Nahant because I was like assuming that they would pronounce it all crazy, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. Well, anyway, so I ran over there and I spent entirely too long fighting a bunch of Mirelurks and a Mirelurk king. Not a Mirelurk king. What are they called?
Yeah, no, there's a Mirelurk king there.
There's a king.
Yeah.
There. Right, yeah.
And then a Mirelurk
The
hunter.
hunters, yeah.
Yeah, and dying for like an hour straight before I accidentally ran by the fridge while I was being chased and heard him in the fridge and realized I didn't have to go over there.
Hey, Billy, what's up?
Yeah. So once I finally like died again and was able to reset and go directly to the fridge and leave the Mirelurk king where he belongs, I spoke with Billy and I pulled an Andrew. So Billy is still with me. I took him with me to the parking garage.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Billy.
And I felt a little guilty.
Watch out, Billy.
I exposed him to some really dark stuff.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. Speaking of dark stuff, I don't want to go too dark here, but what do you guys think was Bullet's intentions with purchasing a child? What is he going to do?
Well, he'll tell you.
What does he do, right? Is he going to sell Billy back to his parents, or is he going to like...
No, he's
do?
So, now he says that, ghouls are great because you don't have to feed them. And, they don't, they're not harmed by radiation. So you can just work them and work them and work them. They don't have to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's his goal for having a ghoul as a slave, essentially.
Slave to work for him.
Yeah, because he'll be able to work nonstop and he'll never have to feed him.
What sort of line of work is our friend Bullet employed?
So it seems to me I've seen where if you actually, sell Billy and then just leave, you can go back and find him somewhere, and he's got, Billy's digging a hole or something. I don't know, but you can actually go see Billy, doing hard labor.
Bullet's got Billy digging his own grave.
Poor Billy.
Poor Billy.
So that's why the only compassionate thing to do is to kill Bullet.
Okay, I think I'm on board.
But that's just to make it easier for you, so you don't have to fight Bullet's friends in the end. After
There's that too. But yeah, so if you tell Bullet to take a hike, and then take him to his parents' house, while you're in the dialogue, with his parents about how great it is that they reconnected with Billy, Bullet stands outside and shouts in, that they need to, that they're there to basically turn them all into laborers.
They just want the ghouls because ghouls live forever. They don't eat or sleep. They can work 24 hours a day, etc., etc.
So then then you feel compelled to help, fight off Bullet and his buddies, so that they can live happily ever after, instead of running out the back door and going to hang out with the Atom Cats or something.
Can you sell out the family to the Bullet and his buddies?
I don't think so. I've never tried. That'd just be terrible.
Well, I mean, they already took the step towards selling a child into slavery anyway. Why not go ahead and jump in, right? A lot of the complaints of a silly little movie my buddies had a bunch of years ago called Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It wasn't the silly Crystal Skull aliens at the end that they complained about. It was the fact that Indiana Jones survived a nuclear explosion inside of a refrigerator.
Was it a nuclear explosion? Was it nuclear?
Atomic. What did they do in New Mexico? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's where they built the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
So
I have relatives that worked on that project.
goodness.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Girlfriend in high school, her dad worked in Los Alamos at the reactor thing, the research place.
Yeah. I have an uncle.
Crazy.
I have an uncle that still works there.
Yeah. Awesome.
Wow.
Creepy stuff. He wasn't allowed to talk. He's a weird guy. Yeah, so surviving an atomic blast in a refrigerator.
Well, he gets like thrown up in the air and comes back down and stuff, doesn't he? In the fridge.
Well, I mean, just the impact would kill him then in that case.
Right.
But so that would mean that the refrigerator would have to be lead lined and cement like padded or something, right? Isn't that what they do in fallout shelters?
Yep.
Like concrete walls really thick and then line them in lead or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that's always fun. That whole surviving the atomic blast in
I
the
know.
refrigerator. But Billy did ghoulify. This must have been before the time of safety measures where they have like inside latches or just, a magnetic strip holding the refrigerator
Yeah.
closed.
I have a technical question.
Yeah.
Okay. So I always thought that being a ghoul, it just like, because the ghouls have been around, right? So for example, Daisy, like she's been around since the beginning, 200 years, and Hancock and everybody.
Yeah.
And so I thought that they were wrinkly because they were just old. They've been around for 200 years.
Yeah.
But Billy didn't really age.
No.
So does becoming a ghoul like stop the age process? Why are they wrinkly?
It must be the radiation burns.
Just the radiation.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Billy should have grown into an adult, right? I guess it freezes you in time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because otherwise they'd all be dead because they'd be over 200 years old.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't even think about that. Really cool. Kid in the Fridge. Anybody else have any thoughts about Kid in the Fridge? It's like you can get about 150 XP either way you play it. If you, let's see, rescue Billy and talk to Mr. Is it Mr. Peabody? Is that his name? You can also get 250 caps. How much do you get if you sell him to Bullet? Probably also 250. Something.
Yeah, I think it's 200 caps.
Yeah.
You can negotiate up if you've got good charisma.
Oh, nice. Good stuff. Right on. Kid in the Fridge. One of those great quest followers I like to mention. a lot fewer of them in Fallout 4 than there are in Skyrim, but you got to appreciate them when you do find them. Billy is a good one. We also ran into Travis earlier in the season. So you could
I was going to ask you, have you ever had them both at the same time?
Oh, many times. Usually, I have both of them together. Because Travis will actually fight, and Billy's my alert system.
Oh, there you go.
Travis, I know we mentioned it, but he'll pick up rocket launchers and miniguns and stuff if you have him with you long enough. He'll get into power armor.
Yeah.
So.
That's crazy that he'll get into power armor.
Yeah, man. He's not fucking around. Travis is cool. It's a bad rap because he's, a little, he lacks a little confidence. So I hear. People give him a hard time for that. So let's build up our own confidence, everybody. Let's become superheroes. Get into the Silver Shroud. I do have to make an admission. I did not get around to completing this quest this time. So, Sarah, did you by chance have a chance to run through the Silver Shroud?
Not this time.
No, Ray.
Oh, you guys.
I know. I know.
So I got all my homework done early because I knew it was going to be a Dragon Con all week. So
yeah, I ran into Sarah probably actually hit this problem too. I ran into fantasy football drafts this week that
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
that got into my gaming time. So yeah, that's the Silver Shroud here.
did you guys even start it?
Yeah, I that is one thing I can mention. I'm trying to kick it off. I'm listening. I'm actually wearing the outfit. I'm listening to my own radio station, walking around Good Neighbor, and I thought I remembered you're supposed to find Kent in Third Rail or the Hotel Rexford. I can't remember exactly where, but I keep looking around for him and I don't find him. I can't find him anywhere.
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's in the memory den.
Yeah, he's in the memory den.
Memory den. Okay, I need to go look over there. God, I kept looking in the hotel. I'm like, where the fuck is he? Yeah.
That's where the Vault-Tec guy is.
Oh, I'm getting my ghouls mixed up there in Good Neighbor. I've actually got not McCready. I went down and talked to McCready for the first time, and then immediately sent him to the Red Rocket with all the other people. So he's gonna go hang out. But I picked up, I have Billy with me, of course, and then I talked to Hancock after another quest that we are going to talk about here in a little bit. So I've got Billy and Hancock running around with me together, and it's like, mini me. It's really cute. Sorry. Let's so you go over to the memory den and you find Kent. And oh gosh, now I remember that. Yeah, I've totally just it flashed in my mind all of a sudden. I now have a picture perfect memory of the scene. Oh geez. So tell us about what happens there with Kent, Ray.
So you go and talk to Kent, and he talks about how badly a superhero like the Silver Shroud is needed, and that how great it'd be if the Silver Shroud could come and clean up all the crime. And so you get talking to him, and he tells you that you can go to Huber's Comics and get the outfit that they were shooting episodes with, along with some props and some other stuff. So you head over there, and the place is just packed with ghouls. And
ghouls in that place.
Yeah. You can also pick up Grognak's axe if you've got lockpick skills. You can pick up Grognak's outfit.
Yeah, I'm wearing that right now.
And so there's a fair amount of loot in there, but then there's also you can pick up a script.
Yeah,
you can pick up the prop silver Tommy gun, and you take all that stuff back, and Kent goes gaga over it, and he'll take the suit from you and put some armor in it, so that it's a little bit easier to go on the quests that he ultimately sends you on. He gives you some calling cards, and tells you to listen to the radio. and he'll let you know if this silver shroud is needed somewhere. Probably the number one best part about this whole quest is the fact that so many different times you have the opportunity to respond in dialogue as the silver shroud. And for anybody that's never played a female character, it is hilarious because the male voice is the typical cartoon type dashing superhero voice, but as a female character, she does a imitation of a guy doing a dashing superhero voice, and it's a lot of fun. Hancock gets a kick out of it when you talk to him that way.
Nice.
So it sends you out. You go. You have to kill some lowlifes. Somebody selling drugs to kids. Somebody that's picking on the poor and helpless people of Good Neighbor. And slowly but surely you get sent on bigger and bigger bad guys, and when you kill them, you have the option to put down one of the calling cards, and so then the raiders take note that that they're being taken out, and then it's by the silver shroud. So ultimately you get to some fairly high level bad guys, and once you've dealt with them, then you hear on the radio Kent being abducted by Sinjin, and he tells you to come to the Milton Hospital to discuss the issue. Once you get there,
Disgusting. Are you going to sell Kent too, Ray?
we'll get there. So you get to the hospital, and there's all kinds of raiders and stuff all through the place. But when you take the final elevator to where Sinjin is, he's got you surrounded by his goons, and he's standing there with a gun to Kent's head. And normally you would have some dialogue, to be able to talk to him and either come to an agreement or decide that you need to kill him. So I'm running around with a explosive shotgun, and so I knew that I wasn't going to have a lot of wiggle room as far as being able to take out Sinjin quickly without also killing Kent. And so I tried to move into a position before we started the conversation that would give me a cleaner shot at Sinjin, but it triggered the attack. And so before I could react, he had already shot Kent, and when I unloaded on him, any remaining hit points Kent had left were quickly erased. And it kind of blew his head off.
Ouch.
Yeah, the exploding shotgun is not a surgical weapon.
No, not so much. That's hilarious. Our good friend Craig would say that you're a monster for not reloading and making sure that Kent gets out of there alive.
Yeah, that's nice.
There are some benefits if you do get Kent out alive. I read on the wiki, he can do some buffs to your armor, I believe.
Yeah, he'll continually upgrade that the Silver Shroud suit. I have done it before where I've been able to rescue him, but in this particular situation with my my current armament set, that wasn't going to happen.
That was a concern of mine when I was reading that as well. I was like, oh man, if it's a proximity issue, then I have trouble with that with the Adam's Judgment. I was worried about that when knocking the handle off the door of the refrigerator. I was like, am I going to kill Billy accidentally? I was like, oh, whatever. He's rad. He's got rad resistance for days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, he's a kid, so you can't kill him.
Yeah, that's true. They're all, Bethesda always got to make those kids essential.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about Senjin? They got any story to him at all or anything, Ray?
Yeah, I believe he does. Hancock talks about him. But I didn't brush up on that.
Why didn't they include bad guys from the Unstoppables comic books in the base game for the Silver Shroud to go up against? They included that with, the Mechanist and the DLC. Shouldn't the Silver Shroud quest end with some sort of showdown against, superhero? A villain? Super villain? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd think so.
Opportunity missed. This is one of the classic quests, though. One of the most suggested when we were putting this season together.
Mm-hmm.
Asking people in the community what quests are their favorites in the game. This one came up a lot. Does the Gilded Grasshopper have anything to do with this, Ray?
No.
It's something else.
Yep. Yeah, that's a quest that you do. After you've rescued Nick, and you're helping him, be a detective.
Oh, okay.
There's two different files in his office that you can pick up, and one of them is to find an old friend of his, and it's the Gilded Grasshopper quest. Which, if you're playing a swashbuckling character, that's a great quest to do. You don't actually have to get that from Nick. If you go to the top of that building and get the Gilded Grasshopper, that note is in there. And so it tells you where to go get the Shimdran sword.
Now, I mentioned the Mechanist is added by Automatron DLC. Have you ever ran into Manta Man running around the wasteland after this quest, Ray?
No, I haven't.
Evidently, that's a random encounter that can happen after completing the Silver Shroud quest I read in the wiki, and I was just hoping that you had run into him so I get confirmation. I was like, I'd never heard anyone ever mention that before. So,
yeah, I think this may be only the third time I've ever done this quest.
And now that I know where Kent is, I need to run over there, get this kicked off. That's cool. So you return to Hancock. Looks like it's about 450 base XP, 750 caps. That's nice. And then you get the Silver Shroud upgrades. How do the upgrades work with the Silver Shroud costume and armor?
I don't remember what the levels are, but at certain levels you can take it back to Kent. And he'll tell you on the radio that it's available.
I've got
Yeah.
the levels written down here. I was just wondering how you get it upgraded. Kent tells you to come in, and he actually
Yeah,
does.
you give it to him and he'll upgrade it.
Nice, and it works kind of like the railroad coats. I'm assuming, where it's just sort of like a ballistic weave into the coat, so you can't really see. The coat doesn't get bulkier or anything, right?
No,
Nice. It looks like there's 3 different upgrades, probably. Level 25, 35, and 45.
yeah. So it's essentially like ballistic weave.
Yeah. It gives you damage resistance of at the 3 levels was 57, 70, and 87. That's also the same with the energy resistance. Does ballistic weave give you energy resistance? I don't recall.
Yeah, it does with the mod I use.
Well, it's the mod you use, of course it does. But the big difference between using the ballistic weave coats from the railroad, those armored coats, and the silver shroud is that they're relatively similar in damage resistance, but the railroad coats weigh 50 pounds, whereas the silver shroud costume weighs 7.
Yeah.
So for your weight distribution and it might be a little less in the damage resistance, but it makes up for it way more in your carry weight inventory. So that's a good efficient way to go. Is the silver shroud costume upgraded into armor level 3 at level 45? Good way to roll.
Well, see now, Craig's. I could have been worse. Because evidently, if you kill Kent first using VATS, it confuses and terrifies Sinjin, as well as his second in command and the lackeys, and makes him run off.
Sweet.
So it could have been worse.
But then you don't get no upgrades.
Well, yeah. I put it on a mannequin as soon as I got back to the settlement. So
Yeah, it's definitely one of those display uniforms. You know what I mean? One of those display outfits. The gun? Does that ever do anything? Oh, you mentioned earlier in the quest a couple of different items you pick up along with the costume. Of course, there's the costume and the hat. Can the hat be upgraded, or is it just the costume?
I think it's just the costume.
Costume. You get a gun. You mentioned the like the silver prop gun.
Yeah, so you get the prop, but Kent gives you the actual silver machine gun to use.
What does silver mean?
That it's shiny.
It doesn't do like any extra damage against werewolves or anything.
No.
There are a couple other items, Ray, that you were mentioning. A script. And what else was there? There's a signed autographed picture.
In the boss's office.
And the machine gun. Yeah, okay. So what do those do? At certain points you have to give those to Kent, right?
Yeah, and he just gets excited because it's memorabilia. I think you do get a little bit of XP for it.
Okay.
Wait. Is this also where you get the Grognak costume?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
if you've got the lockpick, you can get the axe.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't have the axe. I need to pick up Kate and go back there and get the axe. And this is also one of my favorite locations in the game for photo ops. I love flipping on those tricolored cameras.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, change the chromatic lighting.
Taking the 1960s psychedelic pictures. It's really fun. The Kodachrome looking stuff, man. one of my favorite locations. Snap a few pictures. If you haven't played around with the lights in there, go play around with the lights. Really fun little TV studio. All right, guys. Anything else on the Silver Shroud? As you start in Good Neighbor for that quest, you also meet up with a shady lady named Bobby. A crazy little back alley with one of those cool little eye slots, you know, like a
Super cool. Like, what's the password?
speakeasy eye slots.
Yeah,
Sarah, did you run through the Big Dig?
I did.
Did you know the Big Dig is an actual thing? It's
What is it?
the reference to some infrastructure project for the city of Boston that's infamous because they were building highways, I believe, underneath the city surface. So they're digging underground. And I saw a note that one of the places they dumped all the soil was Spectacle Island. I was like, oh, that's interesting because that's in the game as well.
Yeah, that is interesting.
But the Big Dig is famous because it was extremely over budget, and like people died during the construction, and like on during the opening day when they got everything opened up finally, even though it took way too long and was like way over budget, like someone died immediately on the like a horrible project. But this is sort of based in real Boston history here, so let's go get our hands dirty with a Big Dig.
Very cool. All right. So basically, right, you show up and you talk to Bobby and she's like, hey, psst, come over here. And then you go in and you chat with her and you come down with her and she tells you that she is trying to dig to underneath the mayor's office in Diamond City.
Yeah.
And
bone to pick with the why does she have
a bone to pick?
Why does she hate that guy?
You know, I don't remember. Did she tell you why she hates him?
I don't know. Isn't he
Yeah, because he ran all the ghouls out of Diamond City.
Oh yeah. That's right. He ran all the ghouls out of Diamond City.
So we're gonna hit him back.
We're gonna hit him back, yeah, and I'm gonna give you a nice cut, right? And so
Or did she just offer to this job to someone wandering down a random alley?
Doesn't she say something about like, I've heard about you, or
I don't know.
I think so. I think she says something along the lines of that, like, you have a reputation.
Oh.
Or something like that.
Hey, once you go in that first room,
yeah.
Immediately, if you go upstairs, there's a big hole in the floor, but if you work your way around the hole, there's a terminal. I never can get it. I never invest in terminal, you know, that hacking stuff. Do you did anybody get into that terminal? What's in that terminal? Somebody know?
Yeah, it seems to me it was pretty innocuous.
Oh, okay.
I did it a long time a long time ago, and it was really
nothing special.
Mm.
Okay. So she sends us down
to meet with her boys.
Does she tell us anything other than
no? Yeah, basically, I mean, you just kind of like, she's like, hey, I want to go steal a bunch of stuff from Diamond City Mayor, and you're like, but okay. Sounds good to me. I think you try to ask her questions and she's like, I'm not going to share my info just with anybody on the street. You got to prove yourself.
Okay.
And then you got to go to Diamond City and you got to get her guy out of jail. And she says, yeah, meet me in Diamond City.
Yeah, that's the next step. You go to Diamond City to meet her. Why? Why does she have to go to I don't understand why she had to go to Diamond City. Why couldn't she tell you this information right when you were standing right there?
Because you got to show, that you're into it. Maybe she wants to sneak into Diamond City because she's mad she got kicked out. She goes in her little disguise.
She has like a World War II era mustard gas mask on.
Yeah, super creepy.
It's really cool. It looks like a fly face or something.
Yeah, super creepy.
But okay, so you meet her at the noodle stand
Mm-hmm.
unnecessarily, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, it helps her sell the whole story about getting back at the mayor.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where she drops all the drama of the mayor kicking all the ghouls out of the city.
Yeah, and tells you about the job. Before that,
Right.
Basically she just tells you to go join the guys digging, in the basement.
Oh, you're right.
And
Yeah.
that's where you find the Mirelurks.
Mm-hmm.
After you kill them and talk to her, then she says, "Oh, hey, you're somebody that can get stuff done."
Very useful. Meet me in Diamond City. Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Forgot
That's right.
that they're leveled Mirelurks because I was surprised when one of them was a hunter for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never come across a hunter. I've always done it early on though, because I like Hancock, so
Yeah, he's
I
fun.
like to get him early.
Good one.
Yeah.
I picked him up. I've run around with him all day today. He's really funny, and
He is super funny.
I kept exchanging him and McCready. I was like picking one up and dismissing one, and then picking the other one up and dismissing, just because they kept talking, kept having funny little quips back and forth to each other. It was really cute.
Yeah, they do. I've noticed that McCready, like every time that you like are running around with somebody else and then you come back to pick up McCready, he gives you shit. He's like, "Oh, I thought you forgot about me."
Yeah.
It's all emo about it.
He's pretty needy.
Yeah. I'm like, McCready, shut up. I'll come get you when I need you.
Please.
Jeez.
All right, so we kill
Anyway.
some Mirelurks,
Yeah.
and then she says you could be useful. Let's meet up, get a cup of noodles, and talk about business.
Yep. And then you head over to the Diamond City guard station where the guards are. And I'm pretty sure that there's 100 different ways you could probably get him out of the cell. But I usually have the charisma to just talk him into it. Like talk the guard into letting him out.
Who is this guy? How does she know who is this guy? Like, this is just one of her lackeys or one of her guys she's used a lot in the past.
It's, from what I understand, it's like her number one like sidekick guy, isn't it? Like it's her go-to guy.
Nice.
Gets her out of jams.
Mel, I believe.
Yep.
I think that's his name. Yeah.
So we are to get Mel out of jail. What method did you end up using there?
I talk the guard into letting him go.
Yeah, I did that too. I just popped on my what's it called? That suit, not Reginald, but whoever suit.
From the Trinity Tower.
Yeah, the pompadour wig and my Liam's glasses, and that gives me pretty high. Even though my base charisma is not very high, that adds a good, a 6, maybe only 5, but that adds a good number of charisma there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the method I used as well. You can pretty much just say, hey, why don't you just let this guy? Why don't you go ahead and let him out? And the guard is like, well, you know what? His time is up tomorrow, so yeah, why not? Who cares? He's been good. Sure, go ahead. I'm like, oh, that's so lame. I don't know why. I found that very dissatisfying for some reason.
Doesn't he say something about like it wasn't even like it was a small offense, or he doesn't need to spend that much time in there anyway, or something along those lines?
So he was caught. He was caught trying to reprogram the bartender Wellington from the Colonial Tap House, up in the upper deck.
The snooty one.
Yeah.
The one that's like, ugh.
Yeah, that's why he was in jail.
Which makes sense later on in the quest. So yeah, you get him out.
What are the other Ray? What is a method that you've used other than charisma checking the guard?
Kill all the guards.
Of course.
And as long as nobody gets out,
Alive.
it all. Well, yeah. Um, how else would you get out?
I don't know.
So, you keep it all contained inside the jail area.
Keep
And
the carnage contained.
Yeah, you don't have any problem with the guards, with the security outside the jail cells.
Can't you sneak in and lockpick it too?
I believe so. Yep.
Because does she tell you that, or did I look that up? I can't remember. I think maybe I looked it up.
Yeah, I don't remember saying.
Yeah, I'm a dirty cheat. I'll look at the wiki if I have to.
How many guards are in there? Lockpicking seems unlikely to me, unless your sneak is really high.
Yeah, I think there's like 3 or 4 guards in there. Because I know there's like one waiting in the hallway when you go in, at least when I've been in there. And then there's 2 in the room where the big room is. And then there's usually one in a back room, I think. Right? So somewhere.
Yeah, but I think they all I think they have a coordinated time where they're out of the room for a moment that gives you the opportunity to bust them out.
So what is the story gonna be? Right? Okay, she sends you in. You're gonna pick this lock. You're gonna bust Mel out. You guys are gonna walk out of there. There's still 4 guards walking around. Even after you pick the lock, how are you supposed to get out without them going all aggressive on you? That seems crazy.
Well, I mean, just like picking the lock, you get out while they're not looking, or you kill them.
I feel like that just all leads to you having to kill him one way or the other.
Yeah, it just seems like that seems extremely difficult to. I mean, I'm sure people out there have done it. You know, we have very many talented listeners who play the game on a much more skilled level than I. But that seems almost impossible to sneak in, pick the lock, and sneak out with Mel without any of the guards noticing. And then walking through the city, wouldn't the other guards walking through town also know that Mel is a wanted man?
No, because they don't know that you convinced the guard to let him out, and he walks around afterwards. So,
okay, yeah, you're right.
What happens in jail stays in jail.
Stays in jail, so kill them all, right?
It's expedient.
That's the way to do it. Ray's convinced me. Even after you charisma check the guy, go ahead and kill him anyway.
Do they have anything good on him?
No.
No.
Do they have any catcher's gear?
Catchers, yeah.
Oh, good Lord. So we from Mel, what's our conversation with Mel like?
So you meet Mel outside. So he says like meet me outside or something, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Anyway, you meet him outside and you're like, "Hey, I got you out for Bobby." And he's like, "Oh man, that no good Bobby. She's up to her tricks again, eh?" And you're like, "Yeah, we got a job. Are you in?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's go." Or something. I don't remember the conversation.
That no good Bobby. Yeah, let's work.
Yes, I'm in. You have to kind of convince him a little bit because he's like, "What? Why are you here? Like, who sent you?" Sort of a situation. And then you go back to Good Neighbor. And then you start blowing holes and stuff. Basically.
This dude is because he has developed a new robo technology that uses sonic vibrations to dismantle sediment or something like that, they said. Like,
right.
It basically just shakes the walls, turns them into sand.
Yep. And you point the sucker at the walls, right? The walls will tell you like which ones you can knock down, basically. It's
pretty obvious. It has sort of a different looking texture, and it says activate. What's it say? Something.
I think it says activate.
But it says like it's not soft wall, but it's like activate something. I don't remember exactly, but yeah.
Yeah, and the robot's name is Sonia.
Sonia, that's right, Sonia. Yes. And so you see some Mirelurks along the way. And there is a set of half beaten up power armor down there.
Now, I was just about to say there's a suit of power armor down there, but I didn't find it on this trip. Where exactly was that?
I think
there's more than one wall to tear down in some of the rooms, and so they lead. There's one that in like the second or third room you go into, that if you go to the back of the room, you can have her tear down a wall, and behind it is a Mirelurk hunter and a set of power armor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not a full set. There's pieces missing.
Yeah.
I remember in the past as being an XO1. Is it level dependent?
Yeah.
It must be, because it's always like basic, and I don't ever run into Mirelurk hunters down there, but I go in at an early level, so
This one early, yeah.
it must all be leveled, I'm assuming.
Interesting. Okay, so we're drilling through walls. We're going through basically the sewers and fighting Mirelurks.
Mm-hmm.
Then eventually,
Mm-hmm.
let's see. Oh, I wanted to mention with my Adam's Judgment hammer, I'm doing a ton of damage, and like the legendary glowing Mirelurks are like getting killed in like 1, maybe 1.5 hits. Like really high leveled Mirelurks. All the Mirelurks go down pretty easily.
Really?
The kill claws specifically, do those, you guys know, do they have some weird specific resistance to, I don't know,
Radiation?
melee
Or, like,
weapons?
the melee?
They would all have resistance to radiation because they're
All
radiated
the same
animals.
family, yeah.
So it's not the radiation that does a lot of damage to the monsters, you know, because they all have like radiation resistance. It's just the sheer like raw damage of it. But the kill claws specifically, even though they're a lower level than like the legendary glowing blah blah blah, they take like 4 or 5 swings for some reason. Just wondering why. It seemed like the ranking was out of order or something. You know what I mean?
I think that the kill claws are just inherently stronger anyway, aren't they?
Than like legendary glowing Mirelurks? I don't know.
No, so the armor rating on a legendary glowing Mirelurk is 150, and on a kill claw it's 125.
Oh,
Do they both have the same like radiation resistance and stuff?
Yeah, they're all immune.
Yeah. Immune, so it doesn't do anything.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing.
Huh. I wonder why I'm having such trouble with them. I've added the what is the thing you can add to Adam's Judgment? Is it a shock? Did it electric damage? Maybe it's some sort of added something that did a couple of extra points of energy damage or something. Maybe they have energy resistance or something. I have no idea. Weird. Anyway, sorry. I got us Mirelurk sidetracked. After you fight level different kinds of Mirelurks down there, you drill through a wall and actually make it back into the subway system again. And yeah, of course, again, you know who you fight in the subway systems. It's our good friend, the feral ghouls. And it seemed to me that they were more densely populated than usual down here. Did you guys feel that at all?
yeah, they all kind of come at you.
It seemed like there were at least 2 different spots, maybe even 3, where it was like hordes, waves of like 8 or 9 coming of them at once, when usually, you know, there's only 2 or 3 in a location. It seemed like they sent a bunch all at once. A couple
There's a-
different locations down here.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. But when you come into the tunnel, I would like run out and then run back in toward the tunnel and kind of have Bobby would be there, my follower would be there, and I would kind of lead them all towards that tunnel and then just throw grenades when they're all in a group
Oh, that's really smart.
and try to take him out that way. Because I feel like I just feel like ghouls in general are just so much easier blown up
Yeah, you don't want to mess
than
with them.
anything else.
I always like the strategy. I heard Juan plays like this, and other people. I've seen videos on YouTube people do where they just the way they deal with the ghouls is they just drop mines at their feet and then walk backwards, and the ghouls always blow them up on the mine. I was like, that's.
Yeah.
I never think to do stuff like that.
I run backwards and throw grenades into the center of them is usually my move. But I should be dropping more mines. I didn't even think about that.
Good one.
Very smart.
I found this location, the subterranean location underground here, just to be expansive and sort of confusing. I got twisted and turned around a couple times, had to backtrack and got lost and stuff. Confusing down under the ground there.
Yeah, it's definitely easy to get turned around. It's still fairly linear, but there's a parallel track that runs alongside a lot of that space. So
Yeah.
I got feeling like I was opening up multiple hatches per. It'd open up one tunnel and then it would have two more doors. You know what I mean? At every turn.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too, because if you stand there and listen to Bobby and Mel talk, Bobby will talk trash about you. Yeah, she's not very bright, but she gets the job done.
I don't think I've ever stood there and listened to her. I'm not a fan of Bobby. I just my objective is always just to get through the quest as quick as possible so I can get to Hancock. So I'm just like, get done. Where are we going next? Like, I don't pay attention to really any of that.
After you bop and weave through the underground area, at some point you find a place where Bobby decides to stop, and then Mel says, "Wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
According to my calculations, Diamond City should be north of here, right?"
Yeah.
Yep.
And then she's like, "Oh no, here we go. This is right." And he kind of turns to you and says, "Hey, wait a second. This isn't right." How does she convince? Does she just say, "Go ahead and do it anyway," or do you have to convince him to do it?
No, she just keeps, pushing everything along.
So Mel becomes a pushover yet again and has Sonia blast through like the ceiling and caves that in so that part of the ceiling is still attached and forms a ramp. You know how Fallout buildings are wont to do. And you run up that ramp. What, do you have to go through a door? You might have to go through a door there, and then you pop out into a warehouse, right?
Yes.
You quickly realize this is not Diamond City.
It's not Diamond City. And then that's at the point where when the ceiling comes down, poor sweet Sonia meets her demise.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Mel has a really sort of touching scene. It's like he had a personal relationship with the robot. But Sonia, brings the ceiling down upon herself for some reason.
Mm-hmm. He's very torn up. Probably because she looks expensive.
And Bobby was all like, "What the hell's the matter with you, Mel? You can just build a new one."
Deal with it, Mel. Jeez.
Ugh. Emotion.
Why are you crying?
Build a new one, you lazy bum. No. That's great. So you pop up pop into this really cool warehouse. got a sort of like a catwalk going up, some ladders and stairs around the perimeter up,
Mm-hmm.
and you see our good friend Fahrenheit. He's happy to see you. And you quickly realize that, oh crap. How do you play this, Sarah?
So the first time that this happened, I heard a character talking and I saw on the screen Fahrenheit, but I could not find her anywhere. So I was super confused about where this just like voice from beyond was coming from. And then I realized she's up on the catwalk. But I always throw Bobby under the bus. And so this time I tried to convince Bobby to turn around and leave, but it didn't work. And so I ended up just trying to take her out.
There's a I don't know, sort of light orange. It's not yellow. It's sort of a leveled charisma check there. You can convince Bobby to just turn around and walk away.
Yeah, which is weird because my charisma is pretty high, but she was still like, never, whatever.
Stupid.
I'm going, whatever she says. I don't know. Like I said, I should just try to get through this quest quickly.
Yeah.
Last time I did it, I just killed her. I didn't even ask any questions. I just turned around and just started shooting at her.
Nice. What does Mel do in that case if you start shooting at Bobby? Does he care?
No.
Does
I don't.
Mel come up with you? Is he in the last scene? Or is he mourning for Sonia down below?
Is he there?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think he runs off.
Yeah. Because he doesn't get killed. I think he just, I think you're right. I think he just runs away no matter what.
Gonna go build Sonia too. So
if you side with Bobby and take out Fahrenheit and her goons, then she runs off and is holed up. I don't remember where. I think it's somewhere over near Bunker Hill.
Really? And what happens with Hancock?
So then you go talk to Hancock, and he's all pissed off, but he's like, hey, what am I going to do about it? And
oh well.
So you can offer to go deal with Bobby and meet her at this place. And she's sitting in this little room by herself with a can't remember if it's just one or if it's two turrets. And so then you have the opportunity to take her out there and then go back to Hancock and tell him you killed her, or she'll pay you off and you can tell him that she's been dealt with.
I've spoken to Fahrenheit, just sort of leaning up against the building and good neighbor there. She doesn't really say much to me.
Except calling you a pawn.
Yeah, I was going to say, she says something about being a pawn. Sometimes you got to sacrifice a pawn.
I was going to say, what is Fahrenheit fleshed out at all? Is this, can you guys tell me any more about Fahrenheit, the character?
I don't know much.
No, other than she's just really prickly.
She's Hancock's like what, second in command? Her sergeant. He's the sergeant in his.
Yeah, essentially his bodyguard.
Bodyguard. There's a couple of. Is there someone else there? There's a couple other people with Fahrenheit there too, right?
Yeah, it's 3 or 4 goons.
And
they're supposed to be fire suits, I think.
Oh yeah, they've got hazmat suits on or something, don't they? That's crazy. I found, regardless of how you do it, I sent Bobby away. I convinced Bobby to walk away. And then I walked up and talked to Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit, that was really nice. Cool. That was really nice of you to convince Bobby to walk away with no bloodshed. I won't even mention this to Hancock. I was like, oh, that's nice. So she's not going to rat me out or anything. Like, well, because it was, a mistake. It was clearly a mistake. She let me off the hook immediately. So like, well, we know Bobby. Bobby's a sleaze, and of course she duped you. So no hard feelings that away. So it was really nice. And then she rewards you with a weapon. What is it called? Ash Maker, maybe? It's I believe minigun with the incendiary effect, which just adds burning damage, which is a time effect. Was it 15 points burning damage or something like that? Which turns a minigun into a pretty bad thing, especially if you can get it up to like the triple barrel or whatever it is. What is that? Quad barrel? I don't even remember. No, quad is for the missile launcher.
Tri-barrel,
yeah. And I found that any way you play it, right, you still get that weapon, because if you kill Fahrenheit, if you side with Bobby and kill Fahrenheit, and pick Ashmaker up off her body, or Fahrenheit rewards you for being a good person, for being civil and convincing Bobby to walk away, or if you kill Bobby, she'll also give you Ashmaker. So it's a if you're doing the big guns playthrough with like power armor minigun, that seems like a good way to go.
Yep.
Ashmakers. You can get that what's it called? The shredder or whatever? That's spinning blades on the end of the gun. Oh man. Massive damage.
Yeah. And if you kill Bobby and Fahrenheit lets you leave, when you go talk to Hancock, he'll be available to be your follower at that point.
He's also, if you just convince Bobby to walk away like I did, he'll also be your companion too.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to kill her. But how about if you kill Fahrenheit, what is your relationship then?
So you can still get him as your follower.
Your follower, okay. Interesting. And at that point is when he goes out on the balcony and does his stupid speech where he has to go find himself. I was like rolling my eyes so fucking hard. Get over yourself, Hancock. Jesus. You're like a 19-year-old poetry guy from the 50s or something. Come on. Let's big dig. Any interesting side notes or anything? Looks like you get about 300 XP. Ashmaker, like I mentioned. Any caps? 300 caps if you side with Bobby. She pays you off. I didn't notice any caps if you side with Hancock, so I think it's just the minigun. And probably the XP. You guys have any big dig? Closing thoughts.
Yeah, that was about it for me.
Sarah, you escorted a child into the Milton parking garage. Why would you do that?
Well, I didn't know. No one told me.
Yeah, it's pretty grim.
What's going on over at the garage, you guys?
Some creepy shit. It's very what is Pikmin Gallery-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little creepy.
Lots of
It's a little creepy, y'all. Lots of people hanging. It's makes me think of the Saw movies, because the first thing you do is you come in and there's like a body just like tangled in barbed wire hanging from the ceiling in this little like nook. And it's basically just a big, crazy, creepy maze with all kinds of booby traps in it. And it was really fun, actually.
But, come on, Billy.
Come on, Billy.
Let's go play with.
Let's go. Let's go
They-
check out the
Grenade bouquets. Woo!
dismembered heads sitting on tables.
And the pretty Christmas tree.
Oh yeah, the Christmas tree.
Oh, Ray, what are your
The
thoughts
turret.
about the parking garage?
But so it seems to me that if somebody was doing a settlement build, this would be a great place to go right away, because you get 500 springs, 10,000 screws, 600
Yeah.
copper. If you go through and disassemble every one of these trap triggers,
Mhm.
you come away with a lot of loot.
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
saw that mentioned in the wiki. There was a lots of copper and stuff.
There's like 800 bathroom scales.
Yeah, those are great. Those have lots of good stuff in them.
Yeah, I was happy for the grenades, the grenade bouquets.
Yeah, yeah. Those are very nice.
You just got to keep on guard and pay attention.
It says the wiki says there were 31 bathroom scales. Good lord. 3 gun traps of different levels.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
10 Tesla coil traps.
Yeah.
Various door triggers. Makeshift bombs. A flamethrower door trap. Oh, that was at the end, the flamethrower one.
Yeah.
So,
It
Do we
helps if you've got a high level of sneak, because at level 2 you don't set off floor traps, and at level 3 you don't set off mines. So
oh gosh,
Oh,
that
you
was
just kind of
nice.
scroll through this place with no problem.
yeah. Do we have any idea who's put this together? Is this just random raiders or what's
It's a complete mystery, because there's nothing that tips you off to what.
no terminals or anything?
No.
Don't find a note on any of the corpses' bodies or because why
I
are
don't
the
think
corpses
so.
why are the corpses going through there? It's like, what is their motivation? They're trying to find treasure or something like us? Am I incorrect in remembering that it must be a different location? I thought that I was sent there by a random radio signal, a distress signal.
Mm,
Could be
I don't know.
either that, or you're just naturally drawn to doors with giant question marks on them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a weird way of getting into it? Do you have to access it from the skyways or the question mark doors? Is that level locked or anything?
Yeah, I think the other ones are all barred. Because you can get into Fallon's department store and I think the hospital from sky bridges,
Yeah. Okay. What are those
but from the inside out, not from the outside in.
from the out? Oh, you can't. Oh no, this is one of those weird locations someone was mentioning. Did we mention this on the show last time, or was this mentioned in the Facebook group? If you blow up cars or something, throw grenades against those doors. It's one of those weird things where you can
oh.
Knock the bars off.
the bars will fall off and you can open them from the outside. I'd never tried it before. I still haven't tried it yet in the game, but oh, I'm gonna start trying to do that now. You go to a door when it says, "Oh, this door is barred from the other side." It was like, "Fuck you! No, it's not." Throw a grenade at it. See if I can pop that bar off. Make it so much easier. I hate it when I get to those. Now, how do you get the chains down from the other side of the door, Ray?
Seems to me you ought to be able to hit it with the Adam's Judgment and just have it bust open.
Just
Yeah.
the whole world should just collapse when I swing this hammer.
I
Yeah.
agree.
To create a black hole every time I make contact with anything. Okay, so once you get to the end of this crazy maze of traps of various kinds, you sort of have a puzzle at the end here. It kind of reminds me of was it Alice in Wonderland or the Labyrinth doors or something? There's like a puzzle.
Yeah, there's a few of them throughout the location.
Mhm.
Okay.
because you've got the one where you have to pick door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3. And then there's the jail doors that you have to push the buttons in the right order.
Mm-hmm.
What are the door number 1, number 2, and number 3? Is what are the different? Does it tell you?
Well, two of them have traps, and the other one lets you through.
You just have to quick save and die to figure it out, or do they ever give?
Yeah.
They didn't kill me, but
Yeah, I mean, one of them is just a gun trap. The other one, I think, is a flamethrower. So, I mean, certainly survivable.
Okay. Yeah, because everyone survives a flamethrower blast to the face. I forgot.
Yeah.
That's easy peasy. All right. So, what other puzzles do we have in there?
I mean, the rest of it is just kind of figuring out your way through it.
Okay.
Billy alerted me to the ghouls.
Ah, don't hurt me.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize that he was an early warning system until you just said it. But yeah, he totally was.
Yeah, he warns me of things approaching from behind.
Yeah.
Good.
And really, it's just kind of like being a little lost in there, exploring your way through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you get to the 2 doors where you have to choose one or the other,
Right.
and you don't have the pink paint job magazine, the hot rod magazine, then you missed a spot.
Yeah, I missed a spot because I didn't read about the magazine until after.
So yeah, expand on that, Ray.
So they make it very easy to miss. It's hard to tell, a wall that is just a corridor and a wall that actually is a room.
Mm-hmm.
And so there at the very end, there's a room that you have to walk around past the doors that you choose, your loot, and go around behind through another little maze to get to a room that has a bed and some decent loot. I think there's might even be a mini nuke in there. But the big, the most covetous thing that's in there is the Hot Rodder magazine that has the pink paint job.
That's found via access hallway behind the rooms with the 2 cross traps.
Yeah.
I read in the wiki that I think this is the same area you're talking about. That it's just there's a screen access and you can your cursor can access through the screen and pick up stuff in one of the rooms, and then that's the room that you want to destroy.
Mm.
Because you can keep those. It mentions that there's a couple of things in there, like maybe some fusion cores or something that you can't pick up, but that's the only thing that you'll miss out on. But I think there's like 4 of them. I think there's a decent amount of them.
Well, so the room on the left has ammunition, fusion cores, a helmet, and some other, armament type loot. And then in the one on the right, it's got, some stem packs and blood packs and some, chems and stuff like that. So, you pick that way.
The wiki made it seem like the mini nuke was also inside one of those rooms that you could like pull it out from behind the screen.
Mm-hmm. So when I got to that point, there was a Brahmin, with full pack and everything, like one of the ones that belongs to the the caravans, and he was stuck inside this room.
What are you doing there, Bessie?
And so So I saved and, blew up the room with the good stuff in it and opened up the one that had the Brahmin in it. And you couldn't get any loot off of the Brahmin. You couldn't kill the Brahmin. And you couldn't get to the stuff in the room because the Brahmin was blocking the doorway.
Good move, Brahmin.
So I reloaded and then opened the other door and, felt a little bit bad because, here I am roasting this Brahmin with the flamethrowers. And, so.
In that specific scenario, Ray, will it then let you loot off of the Brahmin carcass Brahmin steaks that are already cooked?
No, it wouldn't die.
It would die.
It just sat there, getting toasted by this flamethrower, and it wouldn't die.
Oh, that's right. You said it was that's crazy.
Yeah.
What is it doing there?
Well, it was a glitch.
The Milton parking garage. Let's see. It's there north of Fallon Department Store. Who's in Fallon Department Store? There's a bunch of super mutants in there, right?
Yep.
Is there? So that can't be a major trade path because no one likes traveling super mutant country.
Yeah, I mean, there's super mutants on both sides of that
Oh
street.
yeah. I got suiciders coming after me.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 suiciders out front of there too. Doesn't Mr. Stupid fucking Professor Goodfields take you right past there? Maybe not.
I didn't get that far if he does.
Yeah, that's a nasty location. The suiciders. I finally kind of figured out that you have to kind of beat them to the punch, and you can get a swipe in with the hammer before they get you. But if there were 3 of them there, I don't know how I would deal with 3 of them.
I ran away and shot their legs out. That's my go-to move.
Yeah, I'm trying to not to use guns for anything, even like.
Oh, that's right.
I'm just swinging my melee weapon and hoping and running away from stuff.
Well, one of them caught up to Billy and blew up Billy. So he got sacrificed.
Really?
I know. He was fine.
Yeah,
He got back up.
brushes off and gets back up. He's a tough little fool.
And then the other one, I just sprinted away and then turned around real quick and vatsed his legs. And then he started limping towards me. And then I just took him out the rest of the way.
That's the best. I find that's very useful in a lot of the different bad guys, especially the ghouls, and also the Assaultrons.
Yeah, yep. That's my Assaultron move. It's the only way I can take him down.
Yeah, ghouls and Assaultrons. Take out their feet first, man. Makes it much easier to deal with. But I love it when the Assaultron fires his laser beam from the ground. That's always a neat looking attack. That's always fun.
It's creepy when they're crawling towards you.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else about the Milton parking garage?
Mm-mm. Cool place. Who suggested that?
A few different people, I believe. I don't have that specific spreadsheet pulled open, but that was mentioned by a couple different people.
Kudos to whoever suggested it. I've never been there. Super cool place.
Nice. If you like that place, Sarah, you'll love the entrance to Nuka World.
Nope. Not doing it. I'm not going.
That's fun. Any other interesting loot in there, you guys? You said there's a mini nuke and Hot Rodder issue number 3, aka the hot pink paint job. Other random loot. Cool. What else you guys been doing, Ray? You probably haven't been having a lot of ton of game time since you were doing Dragon Con and stuff.
Yep.
In game, anything? Sarah, you been playing any Fallout?
No, not really. I've just been drafting football.
Yeah,
stuff.
did that a lot this week.
Winning drafts, That's what I do.
Yeah. Shush. For a second out there. So we'll mention coming up next episode of the Roundtable, which will be 2 weeks on September 20th. We'll be covering the quests Brain Dead, Ablutions, and The Great Hunt. So we'll be going over to Fahaba over there September 20th. That'll be our big Far Harbor episode, everybody. So go get your fish flavored Vim.
Mm-hmm.
Kick your feet up. Let's see. Look at my notes here. Let's see. We got Ray's regional sandwich report. Any brand new news on Fallout 76, Ray, that you came through? We had QuakeCon like last week or a couple weeks ago, and DragonCon. Was there any Fallout 76 representation there?
No.
Nothing?
Um,
QuakeCon, we kind of discussed that a little bit, right?
yeah. So there was, what was it? Gamescom in Germany. I don't think nothing really new has come out that I've seen. So
I saw people tossing around the confirmation that there will be a limit of 24 people per server. So there will be 6 teams of 4 people will be your max on each server. I don't know where that came out, but I saw people kicking around that information the last couple of days. Yeah, I don't really know. I've been watching the You Will Emerge. I posted that video in the group the other day. I kind of like these promotional videos that they're putting together for Vault Tech. It'll be fun. It's like what? It's going to be like a month before Xbox people are starting to be let on to the,
yeah, it's not too far away.
Yeah. Good stuff. Getting exciting. Before we close out the show, I'd just like to thank everyone out there in our community, Facebook group, Twitter. Carrie today underwent surgery to have her spine fused. So I'd like to extend a nice warm hug of thanks to everyone out there who helped that happen. Carrie wrote me a note. Specifically said that the Twitter flash mob was the event that actually pushed the attention over the edge. She'd been on television numerous times, all over English TV and everything, but she said the thing that helped the most was you guys out there retweeting and doing all that, getting the attention of Pete Hines and everyone at Bethesda. And she had a couple of anonymous donors just give crazy amounts of money, and she made it down there to get her spine fused. So her neck vertebrae from her skull down to her shoulders. It's going to be all fused together, so she'll be able to give function. And they had to postpone, unfortunately, the secondary. I believe she had a, what were they calling it? I don't remember exactly. Some sort of spinal column issue. They were going to have to do another surgery for that, but they have to push that off. But they'll be doing that one soon too. So thank you everyone out there who had anything to do with the retweeting or posting on Facebook and everything. She is currently in a induced coma, in recovery, and they'll bring her out probably, I don't know, here pretty soon in the next day or so, I believe the post was saying. So they said the operation was successful. So thank you so much out there, everyone who helped make that happen. Carrie, we're here with you. Hopefully, I know you like to listen to podcasts when you can't sleep. Hopefully, they'll let you sneak a sneak some sort of MP3 player into your hotel room so you can hotel. I don't know, where are you going back to? No, but she was in a hotel, getting
Yeah.
back to Spain and everything. I don't know. So they had to drive. She can't get onto the plane with her chair or something.
Yeah. It was a
2 or 3 day drive.
crazy looking trip, and
Yeah.
she was saying every time they hit a pothole that it was extremely painful and it was dangerous. So
Can't believe it. It was such a couple months ago when we started talking to Carrie, it was just like she had this goal. I was just like, I mean, we're just a little crappy group of nerds. We'll mention stuff, but you're welcome to hang out and have fun with us, but we probably can't give you 80,000 pounds. But we did our little part, and we
It was awesome to be part of it.
some small way had to pull it off. So thanks everyone out there who contributed in some way.
I love this little
very special.
community. It's the best.
Oh, and another piece of good news. Our good friend Adam, who sent us an email in last week describing some of the spinal tap treatments that he has to go through for his leukemia treatments. Checked in with his doctor here this week, and he is indeed in remission.
Oh, that's so great.
It's very good news. Congratulations, Adam. But he does have to continue. He's not, I mean, anytime with cancer, you still got to keep up with all the treatments and everything. So he's still got lots of spinal tap treatments and a long way to go. They're actually taking a pause because the treatments have been beating him up pretty bad. But you know what that means if he gets to take a break from his treatments is that he actually feels better, so he gets to actually play some video games. That'll be fun. I'm really glad. He was feeling so bad he couldn't play games for a long time there. He said he might send in some little bit of thoughts on a Fallout character that he's got going. So be glad to hear that, Adam. Glad you got some good news there, buddy. All right, everybody. I'll remind you, Brain Dead Ablutions and the Great Hunt for 2 weeks from now. Next week, we will be going over feedback for the quest you just heard tonight. Kid in the Fridge, Silver Shroud, Big Dig, and over there at the Milton parking garage. Ray, I'm glad to have you back after your adventures over there at Dragon Con.
Good to be back.
Was there any... what was your favorite thing that you saw there? Did you get to tromp around, or were you seriously just working the whole time?
No, I was pretty much working the whole time. It was so I did get to see it had just gotten set up, so I didn't actually see it in action or anything, but there was a really cool Deathclaw costume.
Oh, nice.
Oh, super cool.
And I have no idea what the character was, but there was a woman that in a huge costume. It looked like it might have been from StarCraft or something like that. It was a huge Zerg-like bug.
Sweet. Those crazy cosplay costumes.
Yeah, there are definitely some wild ones at Dragon Con.
But seriously, though, Ray, you're in Atlanta. Fucking like August. It's got to be 1,010 degrees on the surface of the sun in Atlanta this time of year. I'm not going to want to wear fucking huge space worm costume. You know what I mean?
When you're inside the hotels, it's like 30 degrees.
Yeah, they got the hamster tubes in between the buildings, so you don't actually have to go outside during the summer in Atlanta now, right? It's like the opposite of Minnesota in the winter. They've got the hamster tubes, so you don't have to go outside in the winter. You got them so you don't have to go outside in the summer.
Yep. Yeah. So I literally walked across the street, so not even a full block, to get to the MARTA station or rapid transit. And once I was there and went underground, I never was outdoors again until I had to walk from that same train station back to the condo.
Oh my gosh.
So everything was in tunnels.
That 30-second walk from the condo to the train station is enough to make me have to take 2 showers when I get back.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, it wasn't too bad.
I got to take the first shower because I'm sweaty. And then I got to take the second shower because I get sweaty drying off from the first shower. That's how gross it is in the summer. Hate it so much. Glad fall's coming up soon, you guys. Welcome to September. I'm happy about it.
I feel the same way about the East Coast. It doesn't agree with me.
Oh, yeah. You just got back. I don't know. You're never comfortable mentioning anything about your personal life. You came from somewhere east of the Mississippi River. And you were like, oh, my God, you guys.
I went to Virginia. I will say where it went. I say some things about my personal life. But yeah, I went to Virginia and holy shit. Like, I don't understand humidity because we just like don't have it here. It's just like you just are constantly wet. Like even if it's not raining, it feels like it's raining. Does that make sense? It's ridiculous. Yeah. And the bugs
pretty much our life, yeah.
Yeah, the bugs are like ginormous. It was I don't know. Virginia's like a jungle. I don't know. I didn't like it. I was very glad to be home. I'm happy to travel and visit places, but I'm happy in my little Bay Area bubble, you know?
Yeah, you guys are lucky with that lack of humidity shit. It's no joke.
Yeah.
It'd be 112 degrees in Las Vegas, and people are like, oh, man, it is so hot. You guys in the Midwest, we can cook an egg on the street. And I'm like, well, fuck you. It's 82 degrees here, but 100% humidity makes it feel like 10 times worse than it does at 118.
Yeah, it's like you can't even breathe.
Yeah. Kills people.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but your skin looks great.
Never have to moisturize. You're just oily all the time.
Nobody can tell because you're literally sweating bullets.
You're just sweaty all the time.
You're just sweaty all the time.
Or in hamster tubes walking in between buildings.
Yeah, we were in like a place where they had like underground tunnels and stuff. And someone explained to me that it was for the winter when it snows. And that was also something that was like pretty foreign to me. Because I was like, why is everything underground? Like, why would they build underground tunnels? And they're like, you don't want to go outside when there's like a whole bunch of snow on the ground. And I'm like, oh, you're probably right.
I really hate to admit it to you, Sarah, but tunnels in Virginia probably had way more nefarious origins than weather prevention.
You're probably right.
Or noble. It could have been Underground Railroad.
No, I think it was just like, I'm pretty sure that this was just built for like snow purposes.
No, they're stashing slaves. Watch out.
Yeah. I did go to DC too. That was fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
You get to sweat in DC.
Yeah, it was hot. We rented bikes though. It was fun.
Oh, goodness. Saw some good sights, run around.
Saw some good sights. I'd been there before, but it was nice to see them all again, you know?
Yeah, you were for a family wedding or something?
Yeah.
Fun. Brought both kids?
So, sorry, so the East Coast, no, it was just me. That was for a work thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's miserable during the summer out here. I'm glad you got to come out and experience it.
Yeah. I flew over you.
Did you have a Did you have a weird Virginia sandwich?
I did not. I had a lot of salads. You know, if I had gone to Virginia after we had this conversation, I would definitely be asking for a regional sandwich of some kind.
What is your weird regional sandwich, sir?
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a particular regional sandwich?
Say it with that accent. He'll be like, "What the fuck are you?"
Excuse me, kind sir. Please, will you tell me your regional
Yeah.
sandwich of choice?
That'd have to be country ham.
Yeah.
In Virginia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they make a great dry cured ham in Southern Virginia.
So I feel like we maybe just need to start a sandwich podcast. I mean,
Oh, this is the
because this
basically the Fallout sandwich cast already.
we're now the Fallout sandwich feed.
Ray, Sarah said she doesn't eat gravy.
How do you live?
Gravy is life.
What do you put on your biscuits?
Butter.
Think of that. I thought like turkey gravy. I forgot about like biscuits and gravy too. Yeah, gravy's so diverse, Sarah. How do you just exclude it all?
I'm starting to realize that maybe I just don't have a very diverse palate.
The Swedish meatballs and gravy? Come on.
Rice and gravy.
What?
Oh yeah.
No.
What
No.
Fried chicken gravy.
Oh yeah,
No.
Mm.
No.
Mm-mm-mm.
just over white rice.
Yep.
Sounds pretty good to me.
That sounds like the worst thing ever.
You got to
Are you
embrace
serious? Like
French
doesn't-
fries. You've never had poutine?
What?
gravy.
No.
It's Canadian. French fries, brown gravy, cheese curds.
I've never had cheese curds, you guys.
Ooh, squeaky cheese.
Good.
Where can I find cheese curds? I'm gonna Google it.
At your
Sonoma.
grocery store?
At where?
Your grocery store? I'm sure Trader Joe's
No.
has cheese curds. The Trader
Yeah.
Joe's definitely has cheese curds.
Yep. Yeah, the cheese factory up in Sonoma makes them.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Bet your Costco has them, right?
There's a place I can get. There's a place in Mountain View I can get some cheese curds.
There you go.
It's probably just because we're in the Midwest, but we have a chain burger joint here called Culver's that I think originates in Wisconsin, and one of their sides is fried cheese curds, and they are just off the hook, delicious. Love them. Cheese curds are great.
Trader Joe's cheese curds. Here we go.
Do it.
All right.
They probably got different flavors and stuff too.
I'll report back. Let you know how it goes.
Yeah. See what sort of weird stuff they have in the sandwich, pre-made sandwich cooler there at Trader Joe's.
All right. I'll report back on that too.
Yeah, we need a sandwich report, definitely. All right, guys. We'll see you next week with feedback from the usual crew for our quest we covered this evening. Thank you, Sarah, so much for joining me this evening.
Thank you.
And Ray, it was great to have you back on the show, friend.
Good to be back.
Thanks, everybody, for listening to this edition of the Fallout Roundtable, and we will see you in the wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.